guys, welcome to Culture Therapy. I'm Esther Chadad, your multicultural psychologist, and today we're going to talk about how I actually accomplish my New Year's resolutions. So let's get right to it. So first off, Happy New Year! I'm finally back from a nice, much-deserved 2-week vacation, and it's been really fun, amazing, with friends over, and now I'm ready to go right back. And what better way to get back in the new year than to discuss New Year's resolutions. So I wanted to make this video for you guys because I've been actually accomplishing my New Year's resolutions using theories of motivation in psychology for the last 3 years. I've actually been doing it. And before that, I used to be like anyone else. I used to make a huge list and then just get lost. I would put all of everything in my list into a habit tracker, and I'd do really well in January. I'd be ticking things off, and then in February, ticking less things off, and then by March, not much was being ticked off anymore, just because I've realized how utterly overwhelming it is to try to change so much at once and trying to implement so many habits in one thing. That being said, I'm not any less of a list maker now. The only thing is, after learning a bit more through my studies about theories of motivation, I actually know how to target the exact change that I want to accomplish and how to set the goals in a way that makes it a lot more motivating for me to be able to accomplish them. So I want to share with you guys a method that I've been honing for the last 3 years. I kind of accomplished about half of my resolutions 3 years ago, and then 2 years ago I managed to accomplish way more, and last year I completed everything that I wanted to do and even more than what I wanted to do, and it was just amazing. So I want to share this method with you guys, and hopefully you'll also be able to get that feeling of accomplishment at the end of this year using the method. So yeah, I'm going to be filming myself, basically writing down all of my thoughts and writing down the entire method, and there will be a voiceover explaining to you guys every single step of the process, so hopefully you will have a full explanation of exactly how to implement this method. Now, let's get right to it. When you sit down to write your resolutions, it's important to try to envision what it is that you want by the end of the year. If you have a good idea already of what it is that you want to have achieved by the end of the year, then it'll be a lot easier for you to write down resolutions that stick with concrete steps on how to get you there. For me, the first thing that I do is I ask myself, who do I want to be by the end of the year? This idea that you are going to change through these habits and envisioning how you would be different is a huge motivator. For example, for this year, I decided that I want to be stronger by the end of the year. And I wanted to be mentally stronger and physically stronger by the end of the year. And this is how I envision myself. So now that I know what I want to be at the end of the year, I choose a main theme to define this change in myself. And so basically, this is the big word, the umbrella term that is going to cover basically all of the habits that I want to have built in order to accomplish that change. So I like to use one word to define the year, the theme of the year, and so I chose this year's theme to be empowerment, because simply I want to be my own source of strength. Before I move on, I want to emphasize the point of having a main theme to your year. Basically, it's just one thing that you can accomplish by the end of the year, one thing that you can be, one thing that you can change. So it's a lot less overwhelming to accomplish that. When you're focused on just this one thing that you want to get to, it becomes your big why, and then everything that you will do, no matter how many things they are, or how small they are, or how big they are, at the end, they all go back to this one theme. That way, every time you take a step in any of the new habits that you want to create, you are one step closer to becoming that person. So it's a theme you can live every single day until you have completely assimilated it to your life. So now that I've given my year a general theme and figured out what big change I want by the end of the year, I can start to break down this theme into its different aspects and figure out what it is, which part of empowerment it is that I'm trying to seek. And since I've decided that it's going to be physical strength and mental strength, then I already know where to manage my habits, which habits fall under physical strength and which habits fall under mental strength. And I attribute basically physical strength and mental strength both to self-care. I decided to use the term self-care because for me, it's a symbolic term, and I do encourage you guys also to use symbolism in doing this because you need to motivate yourselves. So it's a lot easier for me to motivate myself by calling it a moment of care to help myself build my resilience and my strength than it is to call it an extra habit that I need to build, because that just sounds for me like overwhelming and extra work to do. So I decided to basically reframe it, use a different term to make it sound more appealing for myself and therefore motivate myself more. So now I know who I'm going to be by the end of the year. I know what theme my year is going to take, my big why throughout the year. And I understand that in order for me to reach that, I need to focus on self-care throughout the year. Now is the time to figure out, practically speaking, what do I need to do every day? What aspect of this habit do I need to live every day so that it sticks, so that it becomes something that I just am by the end of the year? So if I'm envisioning myself at the end of the year being mentally strong, for me that means someone who meditates, for example, someone who is very good at managing stress. These are two aspects, for example, that I could take into account to become mentally strong and to live my mental strength every day. Another thing, for example, for concerning physical strength would be nourishing my body every day with good food and to keep it strong. Or, for example, conditioning my body by going to the gym, by running, working out, like any sort of physical activity that would make my body physically stronger. If I live these things every day, these things will stick by the end of it because I have envisioned who I want to become. If I'm going to become strong, if I am strong, that means that I live my strength every day. And that is actually the main motivator. Since it's the year of empowerment, it means that I am going to be empowered all year. I'm not running after the goal of empowerment and hoping to achieve it by the end of the year. This goal has started on the 1st of January already, so I'm already empowering myself. So I'm living this truth every single day, doing what I have to do every single day. So now it's time to see how I'm going to be able to do this every single day. The final step is to actually check my schedule and see where these activities fit in so that I can actually do them. If I want to live my empowerment every day, I have to find a time to live it. So I'll do anything that it takes. I will set reminders or alarms or whatever I need to set to remind myself to do them. I can make even a ritual out of them. Like, for example, what if I wanted to have a self-care Sunday? That's fine too. So just do what you need to do to incorporate these things and to make sure that you live this resolution of yours every single day. One trick that I love using that really makes me able to live a habit every day is called implementation intention. Implementation intention is basically setting up an intention in order for you to implement whatever action you are trying to make a habit of. So for example, if I take meditation as a habit, my implementation intention sentence would look like this. It would be, if it is the morning at 7:30 a.m., then I will meditate. And that means having my phone next to me, the application for the meditation already on and ready to go, with my earphones there as well, so that when I wake up and it becomes 7:30, it's super easy. My arm just reaches out to the phone and I start turning on the meditation application, and I start meditating. The more detailed your implementation intention is, the better it will be and the more efficient it will be. And the quicker you pick up these habits and the more you exercise them and live them every day, as mentioned before, the more they'll stick. So to recap, basically the first thing that I do is I envision what I want to become by the end of the year, and I give this vision a theme or a name, because this theme is going to be a theme that I'm going to live every day. The second thing is to figure out what aspects of this theme I'm going to focus on living every day. In other words, the actual actions that I want to take. So if the aspects are physical strength and mental strength, these revolve under the actions of self-care. So these actions of self-care, I make them more practical. I look at the practicality of it and figure out what kind of actual activities I'm going to do that fall under self-care, that are going to make me strong and make me live my year of empowerment. And once I figured out what these activities are, I check my schedule and make sure that they are put in my schedule, that I have set reminders, especially at the beginning if it's not very obvious that I have picked up the habit of doing them. And I do everything to make sure that I've lived my year of empowerment fully every single day. And that's the whole method. Thanks for listening, guys, and I hope it helps out. Now back to the video. Yeah, that's it. It's really paramount that you do this method for something that is actually important to you. Like, you could write get fit, but if getting fit is more of a superficial goal, like it would be really nice if I looked nice by the end of the year, that's really not enough. You really need to get down and dirty with what it is that you need for your life, what kind of changes you need, and what kind of accomplishment is going to be very rewarding for you. So that's the best way to get implementing, and once you found that, the method goes on. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe for more content on culture and psychology. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!